Hello, I'm John from Into Boxing. I'm with Kaash and Scott Lawton. Just want to talk about the upcoming fight, April the 7th at King's Hall, and just a quick catch up with Kaash Buttery. Scott?
Yeah, Kaash is out on the 7th of April. He's got a very durable fighter in Christian Lake. Christian is one of the most respected journeymen of our time. He doesn't get stopped. He looks good. He does his job well, and to be honest, it's a nice little bout for Kaash. I think Kaash will look good in it, and if he can get a stoppage or anything close to stoppage, he'll put him in a really good light and show you what he's capable of.
Kaash, you had your first pro fight. You're now then training for your second. Is there anything you're going to do different this time, Kaash? Is there anything you learnt about the first time?
I think in November we had another good journeyman against Fons Alexander.
Very tough, very tough fighter.
He's very respected, and I've seen him win rounds against undefeated professional boxers. And I think a few of the rounds we settled and chilled out a bit, didn't we? And we loosened up and tried new things.
Your last round was probably your best round when he.
Yeah.
Obviously, the first couple of rounds, a lot of nerves being his first fight, and he tried too hard to let things make things happen. Where in the last round, he suited you in it, and it was probably his best round. The last one was, and he landed some great shots and put him under a lot of pressure.
I think it was when I settled down and I started loosening up. I think that's when I let my shots go better, and I was getting more accuracy, and I was boxing better.
You were picking shots while he was firing the shots up top, whipping them downstairs, catching him unawares. Really, you boxed very well, and your distance was really good on the night. And I'm pretty sure you're going to do exactly the same on the next bout.
Does it feel different, Kaash, when you walk out in front of your own fans as a pro, as opposed to being an amateur? Is there a sense of a bigger achievement of becoming pro?
Well, I'd never had anything like that, nothing even close. I was used to walking out at Golden Hill Workmen's Club. So coming out at King's Hall and seeing 150 people that were there to support me and bought tickets to watch me was just an achievement in itself.
Did you think that they supported you because you forced them into supporting you with your constant Facebook?
You prick. Yeah, but let's be honest, results are showing. Yeah. Who sold the most tickets?
Joking aside, going around to these different venues with Matchroom and Box Nation, social media is such a massive thing in boxing these days. So, joking aside, it's how you're going to pay your way.
You don't promote yourself in boxing nowadays. Why should you get paid if people don't want to watch you box? You have to, if that's right, then you have to box someone who people do want to pay to watch box. So Kaash is making it so people want to see him, and they're paying the money, and they're paying good money for him, and he's giving them value for money. Whenever he boxes, he gives 110%. To be honest, like when he boxes, when he trains, he gives it 110% all the time, and people don't mind paying for see value for money, and that's what he gives people.
Some of the boxers at the well-known kind of gyms, like for example Gallagher's and places like that, they don't have to work a day job, and it's constant training. How hard do you find it having to go to work and train? Do you think that if you had an opportunity of not having to work, that your success would come faster?
I think my last camp I wasn't working. I was a full-time boxer. Whereas this one I've took up a full-time job, working 2 till 10 at night and 6 till 2 in the afternoon. So it's more money, and it's tougher for me and my coaches because they've got to fit around my work.
It's character building. I mean, when I was boxing, I did the same thing. I used to work at Don Burr. I used to clock on 7:15 in the morning, work till 5:15 at night, go to the gym, do your work at the gym, come back from the gym, go do your running because you didn't have time to go in the morning, have your tea late at night, and then go to bed. And it was like that. But when you want to get to the top and succeed at what you want to do, you'll do it, and you'll do it because that's just the way it is. And I'm pretty sure that Kaash won't have a job for long. I think as soon as he starts getting higher up the ratings and getting bigger fights, he'll start earning some good money, and I'm pretty sure he won't just earn good money on one fight. I think he'll win the fights, and that means you'll get good money on the next fight and the next fight, and then hopefully we get him with someone like Matchroom or Box Nation or one of the big promoters, because Kaash has got a lot to give to boxing, and he's a bit of a personality as well, and he's ideal.
Kaash, when your arm were raised after your first fight, and what do? Do you look out to your fans? Do you look out to your mum? Who do you look for?
Well, as soon as my arm was raised for the past year, I pointed up to my mate who died a year ago, Jake Payton, and it's just in memory of him.
He's
and
the
it's
boxer,
respect.
isn't he? Yeah.
We were sparring partners and really good mates. We grew up together in the gym, and it was a tragic loss. So I just pointed up to him, just acknowledging that he's still alive and he's watching over me, because it's since that day I pray every fight before to him that I've done big things in boxing. Won the national championships as an amateur, turned pro with Scott, and big things have happened.
So, just talking to you, listening to you, just around the gym 2 minutes ago, you spoke about your time at school, that I don't think you very took to school very well regards to discipline. Do you think that there's some kids out there today would it help them come to a gym to help out the discipline problems? Have you found that it sorted you out?
I think depending who you are and what your attitude is to school, boxing can help, but in ways it can't. I boxed from year 8 onwards, and all my mindset was in boxing, in school, was I'm going to be a professional boxer. I'm going to leave school, I'm going to win a national title, I'm going to become a professional boxer by 18. And that's all I said, and the teachers that tell you now. I was in year 11 before, just about taking GCSEs, and I was in an office with the deputy head and a few of the behaviour managers with my mum. And he said, what's your plan after school? I said, I'll win a national title and I'll turn pro.
You see, listening to Kaash now just reminds me exactly about when I was at school. I mean, I can remember one of my maths teachers saying it was a waste of taxpayers' money to take my exams, so I didn't bother taking them. But well, we'll bother then. So, like, hearing Kaash now very much reminds me about when I was in school the same. But I think it's a good thing for people. I mean, you didn't go to school much, did you? You were dodgy in school. I liked school. I was rubbish, but I liked school, and I had a good laugh at school. But I think not just boxing, but sport in general is good for people, and it gives you something to look forward to in life, because without boxing, so what do you want to do? There's nothing out there, is there?
Literally, yeah. I come away from school with GCSEs, I got a few, do you know what I mean?
I didn't think
I'd done an art in college. But it was the same in college. I could have gone back to college. I'd done sport for a year and then public services.
I did painting, that's how I was painting.
So just moving on, so when you were his age, Scott, 18? 19? Who would win if you fought each other?
I'm miles faster than him.
It'd have to be me, wouldn't it?
I'm miles faster than him.
Yeah?
He won't be me. He's got ginger hair. He's got ginger hair.
Scott's won 2 English titles in professional boxing, and I'm still smashing him out of that.
Oh, he's 40 years old, so...
41, so, 41.
So, I've got that man stroke. I'm still boy. I'm shit according to other people. On social media, I'm shit. That's what's being said.
No. We have some good spars, don't we? Our spars are not like other spars, because he's quite a clever boxer. Even though he weren't great at school, I weren't great at school, I'm quite a clever boxer. We try to trick each other, so it's not like dead.
It's not a tear.
It's a bit
how far do you go though when you're sparring? I mean, do you...
We both try to win.
If he's going to knock me out...
Yeah.
We both try to win. I mean, touch wood, I've never hurt him and he's never hurt me.
No, that's a lie. Scott was crying the other day after sparring. That's bullshit.
But if any one of us did get caught with a shot, I know he'd just step off in a way around. It's just respect.
I don't think he would step off. I don't think he's gonna step off in future. He's not hurt me. I think that's a
83-minute rounds of sparring the other day. Yeah, in the first round, I think there was 2 shots thrown. He was like at the old fucking round.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's one. It's quite hard mentally sparring that is because you're trying to trick each other and you're trying to put little traps for them to fall into. But obviously, he's doing exactly the same to himself, and it's a good little crack, isn't it?
So locally in Stoke, just remind me because I'm a bit naive. Who's the same weight of you around this area?
See, now these conversations I've got to be very careful about, yeah, because there's some people that are taking big offence to things I'm saying. Nothing disrespectful, but Scott knows, every person on my Facebook knows that people are taking offence. So you know what? I'm not even going to answer that question. Whoever's around it is a professional in the Midlands that is going to be going towards that Midlands title.
At the end of the day, anyone who's in front of him in the ratings is a target to him. Now, it doesn't mean that in a bad way or nothing, and people should take that as something good what he's saying, because if he wants to box you, it means you're good, because he's hard work, he is. He keeps going to me, I need something better than that, and get me proper. Well, he's got to learn his trade. All he wants to do is keep going up the ratings and get to where he wants to go.
So you take someone like Mike Tyson, who was 18. He fought big.
Yeah. And
he achieved it. What is wrong with people being disrespected that you want to share a ring with them?
I'll tell you what it is with me. I've just come out the amateurs. In my opinion, I was towards the end of my amateur career, I was pretty light. I'd had a lot of support behind me, done pretty well. And I've come into the pros and I've had my first pro fight, no one against a world champion or a British champion. That's just stupid to even think. So when me and Scott have got people saying on social media or to Scott or to me, why don't you fight such and such? I was 18 years old, I've just turned 19. I've turned pro very early, against some people's wishes. We've got to learn and we've got to build. I aren't a fully grown man yet. If I go in there with someone who's a dangerous puncher or something and get hurt, then that's on Scott's head, my head, and the day,
though, no matter what boxer you ask, whether he's young or old, if you say to a boxer, do you want to fight him? You tell me one that says no. Not very often they all go, yeah, I'll fight him, because obviously it's pride and you want to see where you want to go. And I mean, one of the worst things in boxing is not seeing how good you are. Now, unless you want to challenge the better kids and the kids who are doing well, you're never gonna get to where you want to go. I mean, in my eyes, I want to be the best I can be, and whether you win the belts or you don't win the belts, as long as you bid him the best kids and you know where you are, you got a good life really. But I wouldn't like to think, and I'm guess Kaash is the same, is he wouldn't like to be one of them fighters who would go, I could have beat him, I think. Well, try it.
I've seen it last year with Matchroom, and you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. Some of Eddie Hearn's boxers, had some shots at titles well before they should have. But like Eddie said, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. If you don't put them in, then the Matchroom's not exciting. If you do, then you just it makes it about money.
Yeah.
But look at Joshua. He shouldn't be where he is now. 3 belts under him, fighting for a 4th. The fight came at the time, and he had to make a decision whether we take it or not.
I think I trust my team on me. So if a fight's offered to us, I'm personally not going to no fights down at all. If a fight's offered, the money's right, date's right, and I'm fit and healthy, I'm fighting whoever's.
But do you think, Kaash, that's what you're bound to say? That you've got to say that. But do you ever look at Scott and go, but I could beat him, and he's like, you're not ready yet? Does that get frustrating for you?
No, I wouldn't say frustrating. I'd say that's when I've got to listen, because Scott's been there and done it. And I think
everything in boxing is about timing. When you take a fight, when you don't take a fight, when you throw a shot, when you're slipping shots, everything to do with timing in boxing. I mean, you have to look at Floyd Mayweather. His timing's been the best timing managerial in the boxing out of all the managers I've ever seen. He managed himself the best. He fought every fighter he needed to fight, and he fought him at exactly the right time. He didn't fight him before he had to, he fought him at exactly the right time. And look at him, he's got the most money. And at the end of the day, that's the end of it. Yeah. He's got the most money, he's got the most belts, he's got unbeaten records, but his timing was right on everything he did. Now, there's loads of fighters out there who try and rush things too much. It's like, at the minute, one of my favourite fighters, Lomachenko. He fought for a world title in his second fight. Might have been just that one little bit earlier.
Yeah, but to be fair though, let's be honest. Didn't he have something like 400 amateur fights? So it's not. It's a
different game.
He's a great, but what he did was great. But he could have picked probably a bit easier world champion to challenge for his first one. But you know how it goes. It's all to do with timing, and our plan is to get the timing just right for Kaash to win titles and belts and lots of money.
From our point of view, the viewers, we want to see local derbies. We want to see Stoke fighting Stoke, and it seems to be a big taboo. It's whenever I mention it, people go,
We're up for that. We are. We just wait for the right time.
What is the right time? What is holding back one side of Stoke to your side of Stoke? What is holding back the actual fights happening? Is it politics? Is it money?
Do you know what?
What is it?
I think they will happen. Obviously,
it's got to happen.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, there's other boxers in Stoke, different promoters, but to be honest, I get on with all promoters, and I can work with all promoters, so they will definitely happen. It's just getting the right timing.
What matchups is there, Scott? As to be fair, I don't know many pro boxers outside this gym, just simply because I'm new to this game. Oh. But there's Lukaci and
same sort of weight as Jamal. That could happen down the line.
Who's Anthony?
Same weight as Kaash.
Who's that? Sorry,
Kieran McLaren. Same weight as Kaash. That could happen down the line. Joel.
Just one second. Have you got anything to say to Kieran McLaren?
Listen, I'm staying about Kieran McLaren. He's fighting for the middle start in a few.
Oh, is it?
Few weeks.
Listen.
Well, that's great. I mean, that's.
I hope he wins it. He's boxing Luke Paddock, very good fighter. But let's face it, if he wins it and he's already in Stoke, it makes the fight easier to make in Stoke.
And it's a better position for me. You've got to look at it in a business perspective.
We'll only be cheering for one person on that fight, and that's Kieran McLaren. We want Kieran McLaren to win that fight.
Yeah, we want Stoke to get on the map, or Staffordshire. Let's say Staffordshire, because obviously there's some great boxers that don't live in the actual Stoke postcode. But Staffordshire. Andy Keats is fighting for is it an
Andy Keats pulling out the bag, doesn't he? Andy Keats, you think he's done, and then he'll come back and beat a really good kid. So
he seems like a really, really nice lad. I spoke to him.
Yeah, he is a good guy. He's got a good family around him though. His family it's like a big family unit. Like, I saw him when he won the Midlands title, and I was talking to his dad and his wife.
Was that kid undefeated?
I'm not sure if he was or not, but I knew he was a decent kid. And I go chat to them, and they're all fully behind him. And I think they're also like a big part in his success.
When you look at some of these guys, Kaash, who are fighting for these titles, and you're just starting out on your journey.
Don't start him off, John.
How do you contain yourself? Because I only know you for a short time, but you're a ball of energy, and I can see in your eyes, I can see your energy. You want to get to the top. How do you control yourself? How do you kind of take every day as it comes?
I think I don't even know what to say about it. If I'm honest, I know where I can go in boxing with dedication and with training hard. I think I've had people like we've had people say, oh, he's done nothing, this, that, where in your trade. But I've been in boxing for years. I think we've got our next 2 fights, which are going to be a test for me, both of them. And then we'll just start building up that ladder. And as soon as we get to the top, whether it's in a year, 6 months, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, is when we get to the top.
You see, in boxing, you've got to fight different kinds of fighters. Like Christian Laker, who's boxing, it's very hard to pin down and catch with decent shots, because obviously he's had a lot of bouts. He knows his job. He knows how to get away from shots. It makes it hard for you to get on top of him. But if you want to fight for titles, you've got to fight these people at some point. Now, there's no point getting to title level and then getting so as you mess you about and you don't have the tools to deal with it. So that's why you box these lads to get the tools for when you're at that level. And then when you need them, you just take them out your bag and you got the job done.
And it's working good against these type of people.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Just because some of the records aren't great, doesn't mean they aren't very capable of making you look bad and having an easy night themselves. But Kaash, we had a little chat about the fight, haven't we? And we know what we've got to do. We know what we've got to do to make it difficult for him. And he's fully charged, ready to go.
How many rounds is it for Scott?
4.
Have you got a prediction, Kaash?
He's definitely going to win.
I'm going to win.
Oh, yeah.
He's definitely going to win.
But have you got a prediction how are you going to win?
No, I'm serious this time. I'm confident I can get him out.
You remember,
You're going to knock him out?
Knock him out.
You remember Christian never gets stopped. He's only been stopped about 3 times in about 300, 250 old bouts. He doesn't get stopped. He's fought some really good fighters. People have gone on to win big things. So
I think we've got the game plan right.
It's hard to say, oh, we're going to stop this kid, because he doesn't really get stopped. But what we will do is give 110% a point of performance in, and if a stoppage comes, we'll take it.
Yeah.
But I'm 100% sure he's got the game plan in his head, what he's got to do, and if he executes it, it'll be an hard night.
When people watch you fight on YouTube or Facebook, do you think that'll put people off?
Personally, I think people have watched my first fight, and some have thought, oh, what the hell, this new kid on the map type thing, and some have been hating about it.
I won't lie to you, it doesn't put them off, it just puts the bill up.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, makes sense.
Yeah, well, but I want £600.
That's exactly
you know
what it is.
Yeah, okay. Well, thank you very much, guys. I wish you the best of luck on April the 7th at King's Hall for a prediction of a...
So, if you want tickets, contact me Facebook, Instagram, or call me 077 5456 4334.
And if you also want to abuse him, that's the same number.